Right now, we're the smallest full-service convention center in the state of Indiana, but yes, we're the second most desirable destination for a meeting after Indianapolis.
Wow. We're back with the No Dishes podcast, once again brought to you by our friends at Visit Bloomington. Check them out at visitbloomington.com. It's a great resource, even if you're just a local looking for something to do. Also, all of our other advertisers on this episode, they help make this whole thing possible, so please show them some love. Anyways, play that theme song.
Hey, say, honey, let's go out to eat. Relieve our culinary duties. With all these restaurants to sweep us off our feet, they're bound to turn us into foodies. No dishes, no dishes, no dishes. We'll have a bottle of wine, relax and have a good time. No dishes, no dishes.
All right, we are here to talk about the Bloomington Convention Center. I'm sure you've heard about it for, a decade now, something like that. But I can't think of two more qualified people to tell us all about everything that's happening so you can be in the know than Mike McAfee with Visit Bloomington and Talisha Coppock with DBI in the Monroe County Convention Center. How are we doing?
Great. Thank you.
Doing great. Thanks for having us.
Of course. Well, this has been quite the process. And I feel like the best thing would potentially just start off with what's this process been and where are we at now? And trying to just relay to everyone listening all the hard work that's gone into making this thing happen. And it's finally happening. Talisha, do you want to kind of give some background on the project?
Sure, I can. And I'll say, it kind of all started, 1980s with downtown revitalization. Downtown was in a poor state of affairs at the time, and we needed to capture a visitor market. And we were doing special events just to bring people into the downtown area, and there weren't a lot of locations to have them. So it was a great opportunity with Visit Bloomington and the convention center to dive into a deeper way to connect with tourists. And so we renovated the Tom O'Daniel building, which was a Graham Motor Sales building, in 1991 with the help of the cook and about 200 other people to renovate that building and bring events here. So fast forward several years, and there's over 450 events a year.
Wow.
It was much needed. And at the time, the Courtyard by Marriott in 1996 came and was like the first hotel to open, brand new hotel to open in the downtown in years. And now there are
I was going to say that's
8
crazy
hotels.
to think about now.
Yeah,
Think about it.
right. Yeah. And throughout that whole time frame, it was obvious that we needed to expand. And so, it took years, 20 years at the state legislature and then with the different city and county councils and getting people on board. And so it's been an example of what it takes to do a big public project that has a lot of different partners with it. It just takes a long time and consistency and focus and the need, being there and being able to continue to, express that need to folks who are coming in and out. And so it's good now to be going forward because we've been on hold for a long, long, long time. And that can really wear on you and it wears on folks. And so now, as exciting and as exhausting as it is building a new building, you're moving forward and you can see the benefit of that expanded space and the excitement around it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, one just 450 events in a year. If anyone's like, oh, is there a need for it or is this the best use? More than one every single day. That should tell you we're a destination. And obviously, Mike, that's your whole job with Visit Bloomington is marketing Bloomington as the destination that it is. Can you give us a little background on that?
Sure. We're the Visit Bloomington. We're the Convention and Visitors Bureau of Monroe County, Inc. And thank you for all your help with what we do because you're one of our best partners and leaders. But yeah, we were We are the outside marketing arm for the convention center, and we work in great partnership with the convention, with Talisha and her team. I always say Talisha is my work bestie. And,
we could not do this at all without each other, and haven't, it's
we talk
it's
every
a
day,
one
multiple
mind.
times,
Yes.
and all kinds of stuff. But yes, we're it is. I've got a salesperson that works for me, and he is out there all over the country going to different meeting planner trade shows. Is the easiest way for me to say that, so people understand that are planning conventions and conferences of all sizes and shapes for various groups around the country. And we are we're a small tier market, so we happen to be an hour south of Indianapolis, the number one convention destination in the country, as we know.
Wow.
And they're hosting things like Gen Con and stuff for 30 to 40,000 people. And, that's not what we're trying to do. There's a lot of room for us. We wouldn't be doing this if we weren't already established as a destination in Indiana and the Midwest for conferences and meetings and events for 100 to 300 people. But for a long time now, as Talisha said, we've had the demand to host groups of 400, 500, 600. So, and then those are the types of groups that we're looking for, or even better, 2 groups of 250. That's the type of stuff we have demand for, that we're leaving on the table multiple times a year, that we could be hosting at times when the community is not full of visitors and tourists. It all starts with a visitor. The convention center is one of the best greeting cards we have, I always say, for business travel in our community. So somebody coming in here that attends a conference there can end up saying, as so many people do, wow, I had no idea about Bloomington, Indiana. I had no idea you could do this here. I'm going to come back here with my family. Or, wow, I'm looking at a place to relocate my business or invest in businesses. We get that all the time. And no matter what type of visitor you are, we get that all the time from people coming here. But my first day on the job in 2007, so 18 years ago, the president of my board took me in a car around the community on a tour, and he said, by the way, we're working hard to expand this convention center, and you guys are going to move down here and be a part of it, out of the wonderful facility we have now, where the visitor center is on North Walnut Street. So for 18 years, I personally have been working on this expansion and making this happen. And some people on my staff, like Laura Newton, have been there for 35 years working on it with Laura, or I mean with Talisha. So, but yeah, business travel is a huge part of our tourism and hospitality community. We're that's where we have room to grow, as people realize. Leisure and fun family travel to Bloomington for IU events and Taste of Bloomington and things like that on weekends. It's busy and full and things like that. When is our room to grow? Sunday through Thursday business. That's when we're trying to get more people in hotel rooms and more people out dining and retail shopping and things like that. And that's what business visitors do when they come in for a conference. That's what they do in their downtime. They go out and spend money and support all of those businesses that are part of our hospitality economy.
Yeah.
And then it also helps with the quality of life for our local residents, because they can attend events in their backyard, like Indiana Toy and Comic that we have coming up August 24th, that's busting at the seams and gets 2,000 people attending, and our Handmade Market. They have a 2-day event in November, and they are busting out of the seams as well. So, and we have a lot of local not-for-profit groups that have their events at the convention center that could sell more tickets to help support some of our local not-for-profits, and then especially our local corporations also with their big events and employee training and recognition. So it's, the visitor is very important. The innkeepers is very important. Our residents are very important as well. And it's a good facility to support several things in the community.
For sure. I found it fascinating in my, I don't know how many years now on the Visit Bloomington board. All the work that Visit Bloomington does is incredible. Incredible. Sean going around and selling in all these different things that are going on beyond the scenes that a lot of members of the community don't see. And they don't understand that, like, this is going to open up, you mentioned all these amazing conventions we already have, but this is going to open up the opportunity for us to have ones that have told us for years, hey, we want to come there, but you don't have the facilities. It's not large enough. But in a perfect, like if it was there, we would come. And I think we're going to see that. And, I've had to stop myself from getting into Facebook arguments. I feel like that's part of growing up. When people are like, well, with this, we could use this for this or that. And, there's always going to be that. You can't just stop all projects and focus on one issue until it's solved. That's not how any city progresses. So I think it's really great that you guys were able to highlight, how this benefits the community as a whole, from the servers and the bartenders, that they've got their slow Tuesday lunch, that now they might get popped, from a convention, and all the other local community members that are going to benefit from this convention center. And like you mentioned, Talisha, the nonprofits being able to have, a higher capacity for their fundraising galas and things that are serving the members of our community that need it the most. So,
well, and contractors, people who are taking care of a big building, right? We work with 42 small business, from HVAC and plumbing and electric and DJs and people setting things up and renting equipment and
just
economy,
vendors,
pest
florists.
control, right?
Yeah, I love it.
The roof repair. There are 42 small businesses that are, that it takes to run a big building.
Yeah.
Just as important, if not more important, than all the connections and business that happen inside the walls of the convention center is the business that happens outside of it because of those groups that are coming here. So just like we said, all those suppliers and all those members of the hospitality industry that help make that stuff happen. And that just spills over, like Talisha said, quality of life for our community is really the bottom line of both of our missions. The work we does, of course, economic impact and people out there saying great things about Bloomington and coming back again and again. But at the bottom line is quality of life, impacting quality of life for our community in a positive way.
Yeah, and I think all three of us are sitting here and do what we do because we have a strong love and connection and passion for Bloomington and seeing it fulfill its potential. And I think we all see just how much this is going to help in so many number of ways for so many different people that are in Bloomington. Mike, was it 2023 where we had the most recent numbers for how much revenue was generated from tourism in Bloomington or Monroe County?
Yes, that was the first year we topped the $500 million mark in visitor expenditures in a year. Was the calendar year 2023. And I won't have 2024 numbers until early 26, but I can tell you they're going to be bigger just by what I know, the numbers I've already seen and that type of stuff that go into developing that economic impact report that we get from an outside vendor that we have nothing to do with producing.
Yeah.
And Mike is very modest, but Visit Bloomington is really recognized around the country as a stellar organization and promoting. And, these things don't just happen on their own. People just don't stumble in and say, oh, this is fabulous. They're feeding stories to travel writers all the time. They've got a whole team of professionals that are really respected in the industry and that website. And for locals to visit the visitbloomington.com, that's where you find all your events that are happening in the community. So that's a good thing to promote as well.
Oh, shucks. We came to talk about the convention center. Hey,
your bestie has to give you your flowers. Come on.
I'm serious. It's pretty impressive.
Garrett can throw the website on the
this.
screen. The Visit Bloomington brand has always just been very clean and just like, I don't know how else to describe it other than just it's clean. It just looks so professional. And it's just such a great way to highlight everything going on. And like Talisha mentioned, we're grateful Visit Bloomington's been sponsoring the podcast for, I think, 3 years now. And one of the number one things we hammer home is, hey, this isn't just for visitors.
To no dishes.
Yeah, cheers. Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, it's a great
Listen,
great way for locals to find out what's going on.
I want to say something about, sure, locals are the biggest visitor of the biggest percentage of visitors on our website are locals. But I want to, again, kudos to No Dishes and producing this content about the culinary industry in our market. Because we use that over and over in our marketing. So that's why we sponsor it. You're producing this content for us that we can't do on our own. So it's so great. And we talk about it all the time. So it's great. It's so great for us to be able to share to share your videos or share information about what you're talking about or do a special promotion around it. It just works out perfectly for that. Number one thing visitors do, travelers do, whether it's a business traveler or any type of traveler, is eat.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think, so of that 500 million, which is
Yeah.
such an insane number. That's why I love to get it out there. Like over $500 million here locally is just mind-boggling to think about. But of every dollar a visitor spends, it's what, 35%?
Over 30% is spent on food.
And that's more than
food.
lodging or entertainment.
Right.
And so
By
that's
far.
why it's so great for us to highlight the amazing culinary scene in Bloomington, and more importantly, just the people behind it. Right. Because I think everyone can relate to, that's a good sandwich. But when it's, they have such incredible story of how they even opened up their restaurant, it makes you appreciate the sandwich that much more, you know?
Yeah.
It's just like art. You know, if you listen to like different artists talk about their work and their vision, and it's all about the story, right?
Yeah.
And like making a connection and understanding it. And so it makes that tenderloin extra tasty.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are both very lucky to have our jobs and the support that we do from our boards and the various commissions and things like that. And the revenue that we're talking about that generates that. I don't like to talk about tax very much, but it's that innkeeper's tax that funds the work that we do, as well as the food and beverage tax that's going to fund this expansion.
Are you wanting to move better, feel better, and live better? Look no further than Move Bloomington, where their small group personal training programs are designed to improve strength, balance, and flexibility. With a welcoming environment, their expertly guided workouts can help you feel supported in the life and activities you love in and out of the gym. Whether you're new to exercise, a lifelong athlete, or anywhere in between, their dedication to personalized programming will deliver sessions that meet you where you are. Get started today using the code NODISHES to get 50% off their 3-session Kickstart program.
But we're just so fortunate to have that. And we haven't said it yet, but again, our secret sauce, our Disney World is Indiana University. And I say it again and again. I've been a lot of places. I think I live in the best college town in America, and we are so lucky to have those sample gates right up against Kirkwood. And they all that activity just filters back and forth there. And the convention center is part of that ecosystem. And it just works out perfectly. And so that's what, and we know the alumni base, one of the largest living alumni bases in the world is Indiana University, and they all love coming back here for whether it's for pleasure or for business travel and things like that. So that's certainly a big market for us to call on. But there are people, again, who love to travel to college towns because when they're on business, because again, they can let's say they like to go out at night and feel that energy and vibrancy that younger crowd and of course all the college scene that's creates. So we have to take advantage of that, and that's we do responsibly market that in a way because that's what we have here in the Midwest and not a lot of other places have, and that's the secret.
And we're so fortunate. Also, the layout of downtown is just perfect for capturing the energy of Indiana University. And there's parking garages throughout. There are attractions such as Buskirk Chumley History Center, Wonder Lab, Waldron, Constellation, all they're doing, just sprinkled throughout the downtown. And when Sample Gates was built, it was an immediate attraction to the downtown because this is the gateway to the university, and it started helping bring all of those visitors down. It was pretty amazing.
Well, it's such a
but
perfect...
we're finally excited about finishing off the south side of downtown.
Right.
We've been waiting
I've been there on South Walnut now for 11 years at the Chocolate Moose, and I'm just excited because I feel like it's going to pull the downtown a little further south and make it kind of almost connect to where we're at. And I think we'll continue to see the south side develop. And this is going to be just the cornerstone of that. I mean, it's a $71 million project. Is that correct? And this won't air until next Tuesday, but tomorrow morning I'm really excited. They're doing the demolition of the Napa building, which I just wanted to talk about, even though by the time you see this, it'll have already been done. Is it like an actual implosion that they're doing, or are they just wrecking ball it?
It's It's not a wrecking ball, but it's a piece of equipment that'll just pound it in.
Okay,
from
see,
the
that's
top.
what I found. Like it's a little small for them to be doing the whole push down the lever. And
From a safe
But
distance.
it's still a big deal
check it out.
for us.
I put
Yes.
it on my calendar.
I was going to say something to you about you ought to go take a video of that and you could insert it into this.
Oh
into
yeah,
this,
I'll
maybe,
see
if it works.
I'll see if I can do that. It'll depend on the sleep I get tonight. But I put it on my calendar for 8 a.m. in case I do get to sleep at a good hour to be like, all right, let's go and film this, and we'll sprinkle it in here into the episode. So let's talk about what the new building, the new convention center, what it's going to consist of, what it's adding that we don't already have, what people can be excited about. Is it the website? Is it just BloomingtonConventionCenter.com? Because I know
Convention.com.
BloomingtonConvention.com, because it's got incredible mock-ups, right? Already up there.
Well, the MonroeCIB.com is
That's
to
what it
find
is.
the renderings.
Capital Improvement
Yes.
Board.
Yes, that's what I was looking for. I know I had seen
yes.
them on there. But yeah, these are just the sky bridge across college. And I'll let you guys know so much more about this than I do. But you can see the existing that's a fun
Yes.
It's a good look. But
Right.
you can see the existing convention center on the right and then the new one on the left. But I'll let you guys talk about what this is going to be adding.
Yeah, and you will be able to see that demolition on this Capital Improvement Board's website in a couple of weeks when our next video. We're doing about 20 different videos over the course of the year plus long that it takes to do the expansion, and we're working with Blue Ace Media here in Bloomington is doing that for us. So
Sweet.
you'll see all those videos. But
Well, I'll just give a shout out to the Capital Improvement Board
Yes,
that
of
was
course.
formed. They've been, part of their work has been going on for a couple of years. But it's been very consistent and very meticulous. John Weikart has been a wonderful leader in moving it forward, and they're at the stage now. The latest set of bids just came in today.
Okay, great.
And they'll be awarding the final bids July 30th. And construction is starting, so it's pretty exciting.
yeah, we're based. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Keep
Well,
going.
just the 30,000 square foot exhibit hall is what we're all excited about, just to be able to expand those groups into that space. And it's divisible into 8 rooms also. But that area will give us an opportunity. You could do video gaming there. If you could do weightlifting if you wanted to.
Well, that was one of the
you could
big
do
ones
chess
that I thought was cool. Was like
if
it's
you
going
want.
to have the certain floor and be high enough that you can do these cheerleading competitions and weightlifting and things that we haven't been able to because athletics is a big part of what Visit Bloomington does, bringing
yes.
tournaments to FAO and to Cars Farm where they're doing these new turf fields and all these things. Again, I just can't help but. It's behind the scenes. No one just sees all the legwork that goes into these things happening that's bringing all of this revenue to local businesses.
And I think the increased technology is going to be, there's an outdoor patio as well on the top floor.
That'll be great, yeah.
That'll be fun, a nice amenity.
I think just to keep it basic, we're really doubling the amount of space that we have, but we're changing what we can offer. So it's just easier for me to say it where we have about a little less than 25,000 square feet of sellable space right now, and we're increasing. We're a little over doubling that, but a big part of it, as Talisha said, is this large, big trade show facility of about 30,000 square feet that can divide off into all these smaller rooms. But that is, as she talked about earlier, handmade market and some of those things. We're going to be able to have those in that large room where they can really grow exponentially, much larger, and be able to do that. But again, we're looking to be able to grow to host groups of 400 to 500 comfortably. And what happens with that is, a group comes in and, they want to be able to have a meal together in a large banquet room. And then if you've been to a conference, you understand they break off into subgroups and they all go to their different little areas where they have the seminar parts that they're seeing, and then they get back together for featured speakers and different things like that. That's a full service convention center right now. We're the smallest full service convention center in the state of Indiana, but yes, we're the second most desirable destination for a meeting after Indianapolis.
Wow,
So again,
that's our front clip there, Garrett.
right. And again, that was a study we did that came out and told us that through surveys and things like that with meeting planners. So we're not trying to create something from nothing that we already aren't. We're trying to service demand that already exists. And I don't want to say either that, hey, the day we open, it's just going to completely overflow and everything. We got to go out and work after it. It's very competitive, but people do want to come here, and we're a popular destination for it. And association business. I always say, I don't know why maybe I was going to a chiropractor at the time, but people want to understand that too. The Indiana Association of Chiropractors, or the Midwest Chiropractor Association.
Yeah.
And that's not even a group we call on, by the way. It just is an example of people from Indiana, Illinois, and all the surrounding states are members of these groups, and they get together once a year and have their conferences. And we're a popular destination for that. And people want to come here for that type of stuff. So association business for in the Midwest, in the Great Lakes, in Indiana.
I'm excited about contacting people who outgrew us and have had to go to other Rural Water Association, Indiana Parks and Recreation Association, several of them that have had to leave. And you hate that because you've formed relationships over the years. You've been able to service their needs. They like coming to Bloomington, but they just couldn't make their conference work in the space that we had.
Right. Out of the... I've got it all. I track it all. We track everything that we do. And, I can go back and run lost business reports. And out of about 700, and we don't spend time calling on groups we can't host, right?
Right.
Why would I spend time going after a group of 700 people? But there's tons of them. But out of about 700 proposals we've submitted in the last decade or so, over 100 of them said that they would have liked to have come here, but they were too big, or they couldn't get hotel rooms, that type of stuff. So just countless examples of that that we got to go back after, and we've got a whole marketing plan laid out that's already started, where we're reintroducing the expansion and the Bloomington Convention Center, and it's going to be great. We're so excited to be doing that, and that'll just people start to see that we're about to announce the new branding for the convention center that our teams have been working on together, and we love doing that, and it's exciting to have those new marketing materials and the stuff we're working on.
Yeah, and for those that didn't catch it at the top of the episode, where I made the different or specified between Bloomington Convention Center and Monroe County Convention Center. So that is one of the changes. That right now it's the Monroe County Convention Center. This new building, in its entirety, will be the Bloomington Convention Center, which makes it a lot easier to market.
That's the reason. Yep. That's the reason we call ourselves the Visit Bloomington. And again, thank you to Monroe County for understanding that. They've been funding the efforts of the Convention and Visitors Bureau of Monroe County, Inc., what we are, an independent 501c6 not-for-profit that's overseen by a board and a commission that's appointed by the county, and that innkeeper's tax since 1977. So we're coming up on year 50 in a couple of years. And they've allowed that commission, the Monroe County Convention and Visitors Commission, to oversee those dollars, which we both work for them and do the marketing that we do. But they understand that, Bloomington is the heart of that, and people travel to cities and not so much counties. And so we're able to call ourselves Visit Bloomington and market that way.
Yeah, I know we've talked about that in the past, and you're like, it's odd. Funny enough, one of the few examples of people traveling to a county versus city is right next door to us in Brown County.
Right.
But for the most part, it's like that's such a rare thing.
Right.
I can't think of another county in Indiana where I'm going to that county. I'm not going to this city in particular.
Right.
Right. Well, yeah. No, I'm just. It's so great that you guys are able to show the need, and it's not, hey, we just want to build this cool, big, beautiful building. There's a need for it, and it's not. There's so much that it's going to facilitate. I'm just excited. It's going to be super cool.
Great senior enthusiasm. It's fun. Yeah.
Well, you guys have been going for so long at this, and can you talk? I know this might be the most boring part for other people, but I think it's good to just quickly go through it about the process of where we were kind of hung up, and then what just happened that kind of made this thing finally go through now.
Well,
You're like, I don't want to do that.
well, I don't know how far back you want to go, but part of it, had to do with there were a lot of different steps that needed to happen. And so those steps needed to go before public boards. And so public boards turn over, so you get started with it, and then you're dealing with a new group of people, the next year and the next year. So and then, you had the local level, but you had the state level as well. And then it just kind of stalled, just because it's complicated, and there are a lot of steps and there are a lot of different people involved. So then there was a task force, I think, appointed in 2017 to help get, through some of the different hoops, and both the city and county councils and the commissioners and the mayor had appointments that they could make to that task force. So I think that helped, because there was a lot of, roll up your sleeves and work and get some of this detail worked out that was required. So I think that helped. And then kind of got all the information out, and then it kind of stalled again, and COVID happened. And so everybody's attention went different places at that point. And so then it was actually the state legislature that said, after COVID, that, you've had this tax in place for a while and we want to see some results from it. And so you either need to get it going or it's going to go away. And so I think that was a big wake up call that said, okay, the majority of all of us want to see this get done, and we need a group of people to work on figuring out all the details with it. And, it's good business for the community. So they've really appointed a wonderful CIB board, capital improvement board, to handle. And each of them have experience in different areas, whether it's financial or building development or just working through a large process. So John Weikart's the president of that. He's expert with, working with local government officials and understanding their needs and really paying attention and keeping in touch with them. And then I think whenever they got to the point they were able to start hiring professionals to help them, it really made a big difference, because the group that's put together from the project management team, the construction team, the engineering team, the architectural team have done large projects in the past and are working together well. There's a lot of detail with it, a lot of detail. We had a 2.5-hour meeting on locks and doors. And my brother was like, you can't, how are you going to, call me? And I go, it took 2.5 hours.
That's crazy, yeah.
He goes, it's not going to take 2 hours.
So she's talking about the 1% food and beverage tax that funds this. There are over 30 of those in the state of Indiana, and they all go for tourism, hospitality, economic development projects just like this. Most of them do actually support event centers. We passed our enabling legislation for this in 2012. And so we talked about it. And again, very responsible elected officials thoughtfully looked at it over and over again. You know how many presentations we made with different administrations in charge and people, and here we go again, but again, always valid reasons for not doing it, whether it was the downturn in the economy, different things, and obviously COVID. And then in 2018, finally, they enacted it locally and started collecting it, thinking and moving forward quickly. Not quickly, but they put that task force together, and it was 2019 where we were working towards it and plans were being made and things like that. They recessed in December of 2019. Let's get back together after the holidays. Bam, COVID hit. So it stalled it again until again we formed the Capitol. When as Talisha said, the legislature looked at us and said, you guys have been collecting that tax now since 2018. Here we are in 2023, I think 5 years later. You're not doing anything with it. You need to do something with it, or that type of stuff. And so that kind of sparked it.
Gave a little kick in the butt. Yeah.
And here we are. And like we said, we can't. The Capital Improvement Board has been great and very thoughtfully aggressive and moving it forward quickly, and experts involved in that. None of them have a stake in the outcome like we do, and so they're a great group to be working on that. And here we are.
Groundbreakings happen. You got demolitions happening.
It's moving fast now.
Yeah. Well, if I recall correctly, I think Marion County and the surrounding counties did the same thing to fund or partially fund Lucas Oil.
They still
So
do.
it's, yeah, exactly. It's been in place for quite some time to do this, and it's not property tax. It's nothing else. I'm glad you made that distinction that it's that 1% on food and beverage that Chocolate Moose collects and other
Prepared
restaurants.
food,
Yeah.
prepared food and beverages. So
Yeah, so not even not on your groceries. I'm glad you made that distinction too. Yeah.
When you do it, they again, if it's prepared. So I
Right,
think
yeah,
we used to have the talk about the rotisserie chicken at Kroger. It does collect the food and beverage tax
Yeah.
because it's prepared. So that was always a sticking point with some of the elected officials, and I get that they're worried about that things like that part of it where the working parent stopping on the way home and getting that type of thing. But I don't want to get in too far in the weeds on that. But very fortunate to have that strong funding. And again, the culinary industry is the backbone of that funding and what's happening with
and
with
it's
the
continuing to grow.
Right.
I mean, I think that was the one, big surprise that I think in the beginning we estimated it might bring in 2.7 million, and we were thinking like it'll continue to grow, but you never really know, right? And now I think it's
almost 4.5 million.
4.2 million. Yeah,
That's great.
so it's continued to grow.
Well, go ahead.
I was going to say, and the whole idea of that is to, and the way that works is, I don't want to get too much into how the city and county pledge their portions of that, but the whole idea is to have excess funds that will be used on other hospitality, economic development down the line. Once we get the convention center open and stabilized, that you can invest in trails and other parks, and there's a lot of ideas in the hopper about things that we can do down the line when we have extra food and beverage tax funds for that. So we're super excited about those possibilities.
Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you guys for giving that brief overview. I know everyone that has been in the know or been following it probably has a lot of fatigue about the whole process, but I wanted to look back briefly and then we'll just continue looking forward. You had mentioned just hotels. I know a big part of this is going to be having a host hotel, and that's been something that's in the works, but a little bit behind where the convention center is.
Right. We need a host hotel for this project. There are, and again, kudos to the existing ones, the Courtyard by Marriott. I mean, they just gave us a room block for another group. We just booked a group yesterday in the Hilton Garden Inn, in the basement of the Hilton Garden Inn, 100 room nights for that. So different things like that. So all those downtown hotels are fantastic. But guess what? They're full of leisure visitors, people here, and other types of visitors, but a lot of leisure visitors here coming. And it has been tough for us to get a room block over the years for a group of 200. We have to piece together 30 rooms here, 20 rooms there, 50 rooms there, and that's great. I again couldn't do it without them. We've made it work, but the opportunity exists to expand and have this stuff. And a lot of times to get these groups, say if we're going to get the chiropractors, that's going to be 500. And look, we're looking at groups in 27, 28, 29 right now. That's how far out these places are booking. So you want to book a group. The Indiana Chiropractors Association is going to have their annual conference in February of 2028. 500 attendees. Their peak room night is 280 rooms. They need 100 of those. They have to have 100 of those rooms in the host hotel, or they're not even you can't even submit a proposal if you don't have. That's just an example of the type of stuff it is. You have to be able to meet these qualifications to do that, and that's what we're trying to do. But yeah, we need. You'll never hear me speak of this new hotel as anything but the host hotel for the convention center. In my mind, that is the reason it exists, and we hope it works out that it happens as soon as possible with this expansion. Right now, there are including that one. There are 3 hotels in the pipeline for the downtown area. Posh on Kirkwood is about to open late this summer, and then the one at the Dimension. There's one coming to the Dimension Mill. Right. I don't think they've announced publicly the flag for that, but that's definitely supposed to be happening in 2026. So there's 3 new hotels coming in that pipeline into downtown Bloomington, and that's fantastic and again, kudos to our industry and for people supporting our tourism industry here that's making all that happen. But hotel's a big part of it. We have to have that host hotel that's connected to the convention center, that hopefully will have some complimentary meeting space that we can work together and do that. And the whole idea is for them to host the conference attendees, and for all the other hotels and all the other lodge short-term rentals in the market to host the transient visitors, the other leisure visitors that are here in the market at the same time, so that it all works together and they all benefit from that. We're trying to grow the pie. We're not trying to cut it into smaller slices for everybody. We want a bigger pie that tastes better for everybody.
There you go. Now we're speaking my language. You should have let out with the pie. And I believe it's been announced publicly that would go there in the northwest corner of 3rd and College.
Yeah, right across. I always say just right across the street from the Atlas Bar
Right,
is the best way to read
Uh-huh.
the Bunger Robinson building. I think it's called College Square is that vacant lot now, but it would be just to the north across the street there in that spot is what Dora Hotel Group is the group that the Capital Improvement Board did a request for proposals on and picked that group, and now the city owns that lot, and so the city is negotiating with them on building. And again, that's a I don't even know what the dollar amount on that is, $80 million investment, or I can't remember exactly.
It's up there, but it's just
probably,
great because it's a lot of money being invested into Bloomington, and it's
Jobs,
it's good to
all kinds of jobs.
It's good to see. It's
220 plus rooms that we need in there. It would be great if they have, like we said, complimentary meeting space, a marketing team and sales staff, a restaurant that can, again, people can come out of the convention center and go in there and, and get a happy hour and things like that before they feed out, before they launch out into the community and go out to dinner every night and all those types of things that they do.
And it just activates it. I'm looking at these
critical.
Empty lots, and half of downtown used to look like that in 1980.
I know.
When I saw
that slideshow you did from the 1980, I couldn't believe it.
I couldn't believe it. The second and third floors around the square were all empty. The buildings were falling in. So now there's been 91 buildings put on lots that were all vacant lots. I mean, no one tore a building down to build a building. They were all like that. And they all had private no parking signs.
Cranes in the sky.
Everywhere. But it activates it. And so then you have a more interesting downtown and you bring people in so you can support your amenities. And it's just a big circle.
Yeah, it all works together. Mike, I don't know, and we can cut this if we need to. What are you at liberty to share about potentially the visitor center?
I can share anything. We're investigating moving down. Like I said, when I first started, I was told, we are going to move down and be a part of this, and so we're investigating that now. At one time, we thought we might be in the new convention center, but to be honest, it's we're going to need all that, every bit of space in there is rentable to groups, and so. We are looking at possibly. We were investigating the 4th Street Garage. If you're familiar with that facility, the Walnut Street side, there's a large studio space. It's about 2,500 square feet. Yeah, it's
Gary.
right.
You were on the maps today, dude.
Yeah.
Look, we got the old garage on.
I know, that's crazy.
Yeah, but anyway, we're investigating that. The Convention and Visitors Commission has asked us to investigate the possibility of moving down there. We're the primary outer market sales arm for that. So when we have an event planner coming in, we want to be right there and be able to walk them over and be connected and be a closer part of that. Our facility on North Walnut Street is fantastic. We're lucky to have it. When we built it 30 years ago, that facility's paid for. We paid for with innkeeper's tax over the years. The county owns it. It was at a key entry point to the city. It no longer is. We don't get a lot of visitors coming into because of our phones and the way things have changed. So picking up brochures and things like that are not really a big part of that. So yeah, we want to build a new visitor center that is an attraction, and right there on Walnut Street that we can. Number one priority of that is to be the marketing and sales arm for the convention center, but also just to connect the entire county tourism industry to that artery that really pumps it all out and connects it all and do tours and really promote everything from there. So hopefully that'll work out. We've been getting bids on that, and I've got several of those, and we're crunching the numbers and we'll be working on that more this fall.
Yeah, super exciting. I mean, like just the proximity to the convention center for your staff to do what they need to do to sell it. And then, like you mentioned, that's no longer the main way that people come into town. It was when it was built. Now people are coming 69 to the bypass. And so it makes sense to just have it downtown right next to this new convention center. So I think that's going to be really exciting.
We need to be out on the street engaging with people in person and helping them and things like that. So
I'm just picturing, a home IU football game weekend.
Right.
And you got all these people downtown all wearing their cream and crimson and they're popping into the visitor center. And it's just, I don't know.
They feel welcome.
Maybe I'm a nerd, but that excites me. I think that sounds cool.
Move-in week and talking with parents and students and things like that more. We need to do a better job of engaging with Indiana University students, but we're approaching a whole other topic for a show now.
I know.
But I will say those amenities that come along with all of this, like Bloomington Transit has the Blink.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little
Absolutely.
shuttle, and it's a pilot program. It can move between parking garages, between hotels, help move groups around. And so a shout out to Blink.
Yeah,
and
you know what? I might
because-
actually, that case, so we donated a couple, because they posted about it, and I was like, man, it's not getting a lot of traction. So I reached out to them and said, hey, can I give you a couple Chocolate Mousse gift cards? And say, if you share this post, you'll be entered to win a gift card to try to help get it some
nice.
traction. And they did a really good video recently that actually got a lot of traction. And it's just a
good.
really cool service, but I've never done a transportation episode on here. So we might need to do one. That would be a good time. So Mike, you've been a guest on here before, but Talisha, this is your first time.
Yes,
I'm very
thank
happy to
you.
have you.
Yes.
Since we've had Mike's life story before, I'd love to kind of get your background and just a brief rundown of where you're from and how you kind of gotten into the role you're in now and how long you've been there.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm from Linville, Indiana, Greenbrier, Indiana, right? Southern Indiana. It's kind of close to Evansville, and came to Bloomington to go to IU, of course, and got involved with SPIA at the time and Public and Environmental Affairs. It was Urban Administration and Finance. Was my and actually watched the house where Sycamore Land Trust is now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, for a summer it was wonderful on Heritage Hills, and so anyway, got involved with Iris Kiesling. She was a city council person, I think, at the time, and said, "Oh, you really need to get involved." And I worked in the mayor's office for a little bit, had an internship with the city budget, so. Got to with it was like Frank McCloskey when he was running for 8th District Congressman way back in the day, and then Tommy Allison came in. She was wonderful, and so it was a really great opportunity and location, like to really find out a lot about the community very quickly. So then. Redevelopment department at the time with the city of Bloomington was starting to do a lot with the renovation and revitalization of downtown. Steve Ferguson and the Cook folks would meet every Friday morning at 7 a.m. to talk about the week ahead of what's going to happen with downtown. And so so I was doing low interest loans to renovate the facades around the downtown, and got to know some folks that way. And then we were doing special events. And so there's a Main Street program, which is a program to revitalize the downtown in a lot of different areas, from promotion and design and economics and organization, which is bringing people together to implement things. And so, that was 1984. And then 1987, the Commission for Bloomington Downtown had been formed a couple of years earlier, and Tom Gallagher was their first director. And then I interviewed. There were 27 downtown businesses on the interview committee. And
I've never done an interview quite like that.
So it's like Doug Bruce's dad was on it. John Burnham's dad was on it.
Okay.
I've gone through generations.
That's super cool, though. Yeah.
Jerry Haley. So it was pretty, like Dick Schmaltz, who had Schmaltz's Sporting Goods. There was Ben Franklin, Denny Moyer ran that, and so it was really fun to see like these small businesses and the people and families that are running them. But it was also pretty. So I was hired for that in 1987. Bill Morrow, whose office was where Juan Carlos's office.
Yeah.
He bought that. Bill Morrow was there, and he talked me into doing the job for $2,000 less than what I was making. I was like, okay. And,
long term,
you know,
though, it
which at
seems
that
like
point was
Oh,
$18,000, right?
wow.
So
That's
it was a
wild.
long time ago. And so anyway, but I mean, there was $1,500 in the checking account for Downtown Bloomington Inc., or Commission for Bloomington Downtown. Then we formed a not-for-profit. And so it's just, I mean, it's all about the people that you're working with and the projects they want to do, like at that time.
The No Dishes podcast is brought to you by VisitBloomington.com. VisitBloomington.com is the best resource for restaurant and culinary information, special events, fun activities, places to stay, and more in our area. We share a similar mission here on the No Dishes podcast of highlighting local businesses and the people who make our community unique. We can't thank them enough for hopping on board. Check them out at visitbloomington.com to easily plan your next meal, visit, or night out on the town.
And so then things just kind of eventually grew and we started going, and a lot of, you know, maybe we lost our focus. I don't know. but we started getting into a lot of different things that, you know, when they're small, you can do them. When they grow, they're like getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Thank you very much for tasting, for taking over Taste of Bloomington.
Like, I got enough on my plate. Yeah.
And so anyway, it's been fun. It's been very rewarding career. Learned a lot about people and projects, and and there's so many things that you could do downtown. You know, what are your resources? What's your capacity? But then it's, you know, who wants to do what, and then you just kind of like partner up with them. And I think that's what makes Bloomington so cool, is that there's so many people here with different interesting ideas, from, you know, Lotus World Music Festival to the Freeze Fest to, you know, the Food Truck Fridays, and so it's how do you kind of encourage and support like creative young people who, and I put you in the category of the creative young people.
You know, I will take it. I will take what I can get.
You know, Talia Holiday's another one also.
Yeah, Talia's incredible.
I mean, you can really see like the sparks over the years.
Both on my board of directors.
Yes, yeah.
I want to say,
Looks like I got an eye
I've,
for talent.
Yeah.
I've seen Talisha stressed before, but I've never seen her in a bad mood or rude to anybody ever.
Same, absolutely. When I think just the growth, I mean, you mentioned the 27 businesses, 1,500 in the bank account. It speaks so much to your leadership and consistency over almost 4 years now.
It's coming up on 40. Yeah.
Like, that's incredible.
It's a lot,
I'll say something or sometime, and she'll say, "Yeah, I remember when we were talking about something similar to that in 1997."
We thought about doing that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do it now.
Yeah.
The timing's finally right 30 years later.
Right.
It's funny.
So what's the distinction, I guess, of DBI and the convention center as far as like the general public might be concerned?
Well, Downtown Bloomington Inc. is a 501c6 membership organization. So we've got about 150 downtown members. Thank you. Thank you. Both of you. And so we've got that association business, which is kind of interesting working with all these other associations. I've kind of learned a lot from them also. But so that's that, and we're still very focused on downtown revitalization. But then we have a subsidiary, which is the Convention Center Management Company. And so we manage the convention center. And so, you know, as part of our management and pay for that, we can have our offices there, we can have events there. But then we're in charge of renting out the rooms to people and to, you know, managing all of that property that was assembled over the years.
So in sports terms, Visit Bloomington throws the alley-oop and you slam it home.
There you go.
They tee it up, you knock it down.
Yeah. Marketing and facilities. Yes. And then repeat. So, you know, both doing a good job so that we get repeat business. That's one of the biggest parts. Yeah.
And so I'd be remiss if we didn't bring up the fact that you were the driving force behind Taste of Bloomington for 36 years. Is that correct?
Well,
or quite some
34,
time.
Yeah, I don't
34,
really remember. Actually, the Taste was started by the Convention Visitors Bureau, and a group of restaurants like Portico's and Chuck Macklin with Daily Grind, and Steve and Lung Chung's, Beaumont Hung from. There were 5 restaurateurs.
I know there's so many listeners and viewers that they love when old school places get mentioned. So they're just going to be eating this up. Like, oh, I remember that place.
Yeah, and but as you know, I mean, restaurants are busy and they don't have time to like put on major events. They can participate unless you're insane. And so it was just a good fit for us because Commission of Visitors Bureau at the time was creating a lot of new things and kind of spinning things off and turning them over. And I think we just kind of got, pulled in, and then we provided a consistent force each time. And and then Ron Stanhouse with the Restaurant Association became a partner with helping put that on. And I mean, our taste committee was wonderful.
Yeah,
you Dave Kubiak with the Bluebird and Parks and Rec with Becky Higgins and Mike. And I mean, there were Gene Harwood. I mean, talk about a cheerleader for Taste of Bloomington. Just really good, solid partners. And, it just became like the cost factor and the, Russian roulette factor.
Of the weather, I know. I'm sweating it out. So this episode will come out Tuesday. Taste will be Saturday. And we were talking about before we started recording, it's as we're getting closer, I haven't given a lot of thought to the weather other than just putting contingency plans in place. But man, just knowing how much work goes into organizing this event. I know when I met with you and Ron and Kubiak, you guys all had this smirk on your face when you're like, Jordan, do you know what you're getting yourself into? I'm like, yeah. And I knew it was gonna be a lot of work, but man, once you've been through it and you have just meeting after meeting after meeting, and you've solved problem after logistical problem just to go to the next step, just as we're getting closer, I'm like, man, if all of this is just washed away by poor weather on one specific day, like that's going to be so disheartening. So I totally understand.
Well, I think mentally, though, think about it as all the promotion you've done for those restaurants. You've assembled an incredible group of restaurants with new names that I'd never heard of, like some of them, and that's one of the purposes, is that marketing opportunity for them to get their name out. So I think that's really helpful. You create friendships for life because they're working with each other day in and day out. And so that's very rewarding. And I think Taste is one of those events that it just has it talks to our whole community.
Magical.
And it's magical. So I think you've brought some happiness with people just seeing that it's back in that name. And so,
nostalgia sells, man.
Well, that's just a great perspective and great way to look at it. And so I really appreciate that.
And you've been able to come up with a great model. I hope that works.
Well, it only works, this free to attend model, capping the food to $5. We'll see how the vendors do and if it's quote unquote worth their time. But again, it's less about making money and more about promoting your business, your restaurant, your chef, what it is that you do, while listening to fun music and having great local beer and wine and all of that fun stuff. But we'll see. I mean, it's not possible without all the sponsors, because you guys, it was a financial burden and you were charging, doing the $10 a ticket, but a lot of that went to like Hoosier Hills, which was great. You had the philanthropic aspect. But for just this one day event, there's so many expenses, but it's only possible from people like DBI supporting, Visit Bloomington, Master Rental, The Graduate, everyone that's reached out. I'm so grateful for, because you can look at our list of sponsors. It is very long. And that's the only reason that happens this way. And it's great for everyone that, no matter where you're at in your life or what you have going on, you can come show up and enjoy it and spend as little, just like Food Truck Friday. It's free to attend. You can spend as much or as little as you'd like, but you can still be there and just soak up the energy.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for putting all that.
Of course. Thanks for trusting me to do it.
And it is a great, the day is a great event. It is fun. Everyone should come to it. But at the end of the day, what we're all thinking about, it sort of goes like with the convention center and what we're talking about. We hope we're reaching some new people that may not have been here before, that are like, you know what, I am going to go down to, I am going to come in from wherever, 20 minutes away and go down to Nick's on a Wednesday night for dinner, in next week now or something, because I had a great experience there. That's really what big driver for me about it all.
Yeah, you want everyone to come down that doesn't live here and get a taste of Bloomington. And again, like you mentioned, early in the episode, with conventions, someone might be like, I want to relocate here, and I want to move here, and they bring whatever with them that helps benefit our community through whatever they do or what their kids might end up doing for generations to come. So last thing I've got before I let you guys go. We've got to talk food more still.
Okay.
So before we get into what your current favorites are, you were bringing up the nostalgia, and I wanted to hear what are your favorite places that you miss that are no longer here?
Well, I just talked about Long Chung. I mean, that was a long time ago.
Tell me about it though. I'm not familiar with it.
It was a Chinese restaurant, a great business person. He was real involved with downtown, nicest person that, and I don't know, it was just a great place to go for lunch.
And what was it called?
Long Chung, Lung Chung, Chung.
Or Long Chung?
Chueng.
E-N-G. Oh,
I mean, it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, you never know. We've had some interesting things pop up on Bloomington.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So what was Portico's?
Portico's was wonderful. It was fine dining, and it was on North Walnut in the limestone building that Green and Schultz is located in now.
Yeah.
And so it was a white linen tablecloth, and it had this amazing chicken dish that I'm trying to think. Cordon bleu. It was delicious.
Actually, I love it. That's one of the more. I feel like you don't see chicken cordon bleu anymore, but I've always loved that flavor combination personally. Mike, do you have any that you still miss?
I do, but I actually want to take the time to just say how happy I am. My family is that Max's Pizza opened up again.
Yeah, well, that's
because we missed it for so long.
And it's so good.
It's so good. So shout out to Travers and all that for them opening up. But
and
Cafe Pizzeria, I miss Cafe Pizzeria.
Of course,
I love their
so sad. That's the first time it's come up, I think.
Yeah,
Bob's
I miss that.
I'm blanking on
La Bambas.
No,
Laughing Planet.
Laughing Planet.
Laughing Planet. Yeah.
Did you see someone just posted from the one in Corvallis, and it was it's the same.
Right, because they moved.
That's what
it's like a small chain. I think there's a couple in Oregon, and there's just the one in Bloomington. So you can still go get Laughing Planet if you didn't know. Go out to Oregon. You can have it. It might be an expensive burrito for the round trip ticket. But, all right. So current great segue. Into one of your current favorite pizza places, Max's Place, and we had Travers and Abel on, and again, that pizza's so good, and
it's
they're
delicious.
Keeping the history alive of doing the live music and open mic night. But what are some of your favorite spots to go to currently? I know this is like picking a favorite child. You have so many.
Well, we do Uptown often, Crazy Horse often, Da Vinci's is nice often as well. Malibu Grill is back. It's great having JB back again. Yeah. It's funny you have your favorite dish from each restaurant, and that's what you go and.
What are your go-to dishes?
Well, I just like the salad with salmon at Uptown, and the chopped salad at Malibu Grill. I love the tenderloin sliders at Crazy Horse.
Those tenderloin sliders.
Oh my gosh.
When they do their brunch, they do those tenderloin sliders with biscuits and gravy. It's like a Hoosier Benedict.
Oh my gosh.
Throw a little hot sauce on there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I miss Bedrock. Is it Bedrock?
Bedrock Cafe.
I miss them.
Our neighbors.
I miss them. And I miss La Torre that they owned before Bedrock.
Yeah, over on the east side. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Mike, how about you, buddy?
There's a lot, and I am going to mention a couple by name, but Lenny's is a favorite.
Of course, Lenny's next. Yes,
obviously with their beer select, but Lenny's right now has got this calamari and artichoke summer appetizer going. That is fantastic, and of course they have their $5 flats every day from 4 to 6. The pizzas, which is a great deal.
That's a steal.
My wife and I meet there for happy hour, usually once every couple weeks at least. And I'm a big music fan, and so I love going to the Bluebird and the Blockhouse and the Bishop and of course the BCT. But I do want to shout out to the Orbit Room because I love the gourmet hot dogs there and the beer selection, and I think it's just an incredible listening room for live music in Bloomington and what they're doing there. So a couple of shout outs there, but all the same ones Talisha said, and we could go on.
Well,
and on.
no,
I know,
exactly.
right.
We could go on for
50
hours.
of
Taste of
them,
India,
yes,
Taste
yeah.
of India lunch.
Right, yeah.
Is, I put it up
Samira,
against
yes.
probably any lunch.
Well,
in
that's probably where you and I meet for lunch the most, is Taste of
4th
India.
Street is unbelievable.
I'm excited. They
My
finally
time.
said that they would come on the podcast. I've been working on
Nice.
Taste of India for a while, and they finally said, and they're in
Nice.
for taste. And
They're wonderful people.
Yeah.
Dharminder Singh, he's been a downtown member ever since they opened. And
okay,
he's
see,
just,
so I haven't
he's
met him. I've been
great,
talking to his
yeah.
son, Sachin. I
Right,
think.
yeah, he's great too.
Yeah.
It's such an incredible treasure 4th Street is, the restaurants on 4th
yeah.
Street. And you and I have talked about it many, many times about how to market that and promote that. And it's a hard thing to, you just have to get somebody here to try it and then they get it.
You just walk around and you just see all the options right there, just nice and tight together.
Just like you said, it was challenging to get them to come on the show.
Yeah.
So to get to get a lot of those ownership groups, and I mean they're so busy running the restaurants and doing everything that they do, to get them to stop and pay attention. Like, wow, we could help you market that in so many ways. But it's a treasure. We're lucky to have it.
It's a good opportunity to mention Bruce Storm as well, who like really held together that those houses as houses on 4th
cool.
Street.
Yeah.
He's part owner of Mother Bears.
Yeah,
And,
I'm familiar with his name, but I didn't know he was kind of behind that. That's
of
amazing.
just really seeing the importance and fostering that
Well, and you
way
need-
back in the day.
Yeah, you need someone behind it to make those things happen. Otherwise, this gets developed or that, and to keep that character and that charm.
The trees.
It usually needs to be intentional. One more. I'm glad you mentioned Orbit Room. TV Mike has been a huge help. He's booked an incredible lineup for the WFHB Orbit Room stage at Taste with Busman's Holiday and New Old Calvary and Peyton Womack and 3 others that I'm forgetting. And so I'm glad that you mentioned Orbit Room, because TV Mike's been a blessing for the committee and making this whole thing happen.
Well, there's a bunch of TV Mike and Dave Kubiak and David James and Stephen Westrich and them running those and Steve Rasaw running those venues and booking that booking those things every night of the week, and amazing stuff that they do here in Bloomington. Again, kudos to our community and what we're supporting and just the incredible destination that we are.
Yeah, a lot of great food, a lot of great music, a lot of great
Art.
beer, wine, and
Just
spirits
art in
and
general.
art. And where can you go in one day to get it all? All right, last thing. Do you have a favorite non-culinary activity in Bloomington or Monroe County that you guys enjoy doing?
I like going to Constellation Stage. I like going to their plays.
Great. They're a proud
Yeah.
sponsor of the podcast, too,
I
by
think,
the way.
yeah. Yes, great.
Yeah, Constellation's fantastic. The whole team over there. Chad came on the podcast. He has an amazing story. Cassie, Jordan. I know I'm forgetting a ton of others, but they just have an amazing team and they do such great work at Constellation. And we're lucky to have them utilizing spaces like the BCT,
Right. I already talked about music, but I would be remiss not to say just Bloomington is the top adventure town in the Midwest. I mean, we're just so incredibly lucky to be, we're of course built right on top of the most valuable limestone deposit the world has ever seen, but we also are right in the middle of a national forest and the Hoosier National Forest all around us with Monroe Lake and Lake Lemon and Griffey and all the hiking and cycling and things that you can do. Just incredible to be here. And I think sometimes we're so lucky. We don't forget about it, but sometimes we take it for granted. And
absolutely.
Amazing stuff that we have here.
Cool. Well, thank you both for taking the time to come on, for all the work that you guys have done for so long in the community, for your support of Taste and for your support of the podcast, because Garrett and I have just enjoyed doing this so much. And I personally, just the stories of everyone that sat across from me, it's my favorite part about doing this. And it wouldn't be possible without Visit Bloomington's support. And I just want to say thank you to you guys. I appreciate it.
Everybody needs to
Thank
watch
you.
it and keep spreading the good word, and let's keep it going. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll see you August 2nd on Kirkwood for Taste and Convention Center. You're going to see it. It's going to be popping up and it's exciting stuff. Well, cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks.
What another fun episode, huh, gang? Thanks to Visit Bloomington, as always, for being our presenting sponsors. Thanks to Everywhere Science for this cool sign. Nate and team hooked it up. And thanks to you for watching so we can keep doing this. See you next Tuesday morning with another new episode of the No Dishes Podcast. This episode of the No Dishes Podcast was recorded, edited, and produced by Garrett Portinga of Green Hat Media in beautiful downtown Bloomington, Indiana.
No Dishes Media.
No Dishes Media.